ukihanika guku bururi-ini ni amururi maundu magiri na mbere ukigarura undu muno horo witwo kindu gitwo unyitani wa migwate guku bururi-ini onaguo ni tukuingira kana tukoro tukiumurika maya mothe ni ndigirira ni ndi wiki na mundu witwo Muriithi Alex no tunake rucini rwa umuthi no tuko tukinchania nake ni Gen Z ni mutongoria wa yuthi no tuko tukirika nake ukimenya kindu gitwo githomo na akoretwo akiri kindu gitwo mutongoria wa kindu gitwo university kura muno wa JKUAT gikundi gitwo JKUAT Gema ne akoretwo agitongoria na koguo aguciria ekena information ya turagibatara ikibaine kindu gitwo marehi ma mathomo ma university guku bururi-ini wonu waku urabata muno makiri namba itu ya thimu ni 0717818808 Facebook page itu ni Kiambu TV odu muna page yako kiumbe Wambugu wa Gichuki na wonu waku urabata makiria tukathi na mbere na kindu gitwo tabara itu rucini rwa umuthi. Muriithi, good morning.
Yes, good morning Mr. Wambugu.
Kwa natia
utena kauru? Yes sir,
karibu sana.
Asante sana
na ngoda kurukira kamera no wambukithie mwiroreri wa Kiambu TV na ukimwire Muriithi no.
Yes sir. Yes, thank you muno Mr. Wambugu. Ni hari twajitagwo Alex Karaja wa Muriithi kana CIM. Niye ngoretwo ndi muikari wa kurigo Gatundu ya Rugongo kuma kuria Githofokoni ward that is in Kiambu County but gikirekia mathomo makwa ma primary na secondary ngiguka gwetha wadada kuguko ugo ngikare go JKUAT niho ndekire degree yakwa ya mathabu ndekire bachelor's degree in industrial mathematics na ndekoro go JKUAT ni ndakire student leader na niho ndakire na kamweke gago serve the JKUAT Gema chairperson and from there that now ngigithamira kurogo mwena wa Kasarani kurogo Mwiki ward niko ndutagira wira niko twikiranagia na Mbeũ Njĩthĩ na tukirutaga wira nao. Yes,
JKUAT watongoririe wanjira wari mutongoria wa arutwo wa ihinda rigana atia?
I think my leadership yajiririe o gatene kumia ndiri haria high school ndaingira kurogo JKUAT ni thuritwo itengo mwanya I think JKUAT Gema chairperson was the highest level I reached. So I started on the first year data class representative wa kirathi gitu. You know how class representative are actually the call, the communication and everything about the classes. Dauma how girogama a delegate. A delegate no akemenya delegate ni mathuraga the school executive. So delegates ni the voice of the people. Ni ma representaga all the students in everything that they are doing na kugeria ko air their issues to the executive. Then from the executive giroga magitekia school representative but kiu dia hetokire by then dia na strategy jega and from there nigo dasokire githurwo todari an active member wa Gema that is Gikuyu Embu and Ameru Association githurwo data mutongoria wao. So that was in the year 2023. So I served as the JKUAT Gema chairperson in the year 2023 and 2024. So as we speak right now I'm actually the emeritus JKUAT Gema chairperson and take still the procedure ya guthina mbere kumateithia kumatara na gina the current executive guthina mbere kumateithiriria.
Wirai kudike kia Gema ri gikiweta Gema kia JKUAT wari uriku?
You see about Gema we have our national body. Todo you see the thing that is there in the national body we are just trickling down to even the universities and maybe in the schools that are there. So the very main purpose of nyumba itu koroto uganite it is just to enhance our social and our cultural heritage. Todo ona tukuria tukite gwetha githomo kia na igururi ni tubati gukorwo tugicira na tukiaria maundu ma nyumba todo kwiragwo ritari ndunduri riguthagwo na njuguma imwe. You see we are shaping ourselves for the national things. So ona twihari ugo tugithomaga ri he bata tukamenyana na Kariuki kuma kuria na Ikuru ungikuma kuro ugo Laikipia na andu othe tukanyitanira nigetha tugacira tondu ona kuria thukuru ri ndukwi kuri ona maundu ma uteti na maundu macio mothe ri no nginya mukorwo na strategy na mifango yanyu uria mufanganaga nigetha na nyumwe hari ugo metha-ini cia arutwo makiariririo ri ona nyumwe gakoragwo metha-ini iyo mukiaririria maundu maria andu anyu murenda mahingirio
mutitigagira kana hihi mutigwitigira ikundi giki ni gikwirwo ni gia kiuka fia nduru muri university ni ngire mari horo wa Gema thini wa university?
Actually it is not only about the JKUAT Gema. We have almost all vernacular languages with the organizations. So kwina JKUAT Luopins, kwina adwa metagwo Kalejinio na omena kiugano kiao, everybody. But now you see in the university, dealing with people who are learned, it's normally very much easy. So you can manage to share ideas. It is not about the fight. We discuss of the way we can move together, because there we are talking of the interest of the students. Namenya gokuja wokari harito hagira riri andu mokana that physical appearance ya ukoroni tribal and everything, but there we are just there na kuenjoy gina kwaragia gwika maundu manyu tondu ni murakimenya tondu we have a lot of cultural heritage. Gwika to maundu twanyu mugathie, you dress in your clothes and you feel the pride of being one of a member of that. Yeah,
mbere atwigirite dereti ni itumenya wa muthere he mundu anjirije ni hari gema na ni hari mkusa ni hari tofauti gatagata ikundi ciciere.
I think you know mkusa ni Mount Kenya Mount Kenya
Students Association,
colleges, universities and students association. You see now mkusa ni the larger umbrella ya kuhold, because I remember when I was the chairperson wa kura JKUAT Gemari in the national level we had and we still have Mr. Faris Jena as the national chairperson. So ni tukoragwo na that unison at the, you know, even in everything and tufati gukorona how power is distributed. So you need the topmost person to give direction. Auga tuthimwe no yuri tugathi na njira iriko. So mkusa ya savaga as the bigger umbrella ya go to host all of us. Ni hari andu mendaga kugeria go create some subdivisions, but you see it is not very encouraged. Tondu mkusa iroka go cover everybody who is under the gamer. Yeah, so I think mkusa is now the larger picture. Yes.
Matanya maku we kuria kwa kundu gwitwo JKUAT Gema maria watanyite hihi ugithurwo Mũtongoria.
Yes.
No makinyaniria.
Actually during my tenure as the JKUAT Gema chairperson, I think hideo niguo JKUAT Gema yakorirwo one of the most united in my tenure, because I collected it from a very to give back date haria yari hideo ya kafiriri ado matiamenyaga kana ni kuri. It was very weak and very like discouraging ona ndo hendaga kuitania na ando aya nona. But I remember very well with my assistants, with my colleagues, General Mr. Jeremiah Kimani, James Kimani, who was my coordinator. Nitwa hotire gucokaniriria and we registered a lot of them. Na tukikorona events, we actually used to hold very good hikes that could make arutwo maigue makenete. Apart from now the studies magakorwo makiengage na the other things. Also nitwa holdaga events cia our culture and participating in school like during the cultural event ya thukuru, because the school actually have the event ya cultural things. Nitwa actively participating. So during my tenure, even politically, right now we mentored a lot of very young students, and right now ni omaratha na kure JKUAT. So for me, I take it as my pride that during my tenure ni ndateithirie Mbeũ Njĩthĩ na ngiteithia arutwo, na as at now ni ndrona riu marenda gina kurugama iturwa cia MCA kuri ugo mashinani. They are very much proactive because we showed them the way to go. Yes sir.
Tugire kure kwa githomo tumenye urari murutwo wa kana urari Mũtongoria wa University wa JKUAT watongoragia arutwo ukimatongoria sector ya githomo uramitigire hana atia?
Gwiciria tukiari horo wa githomo Mr. Wambugu. Gwiciria githomo, for me I still take education as the key to success. Because you remember very well during the tenure ya Mr. President Mwiki Baki, augire atiriri 3 things he wanted to eradicate in our country. Yari kindu kia mbere poverty, thina tondu thina ni muru. Agicoka kigohoro ugimo wa mwiri, because health is very key, and illiteracy. But now with this government that we are in right now, I think all the sectors that can be used to measure on the progress, one of it being education, I think this government has paralyzed education. I remember very well, near the githomo near the Kura University, I think I was a government sponsored student, and let me tell you, out of facts, comparing by then and now, ni pethira ndarehire school fees Mr. Wambugu, ni ndarehire at most gire 60 githomo giakwa, and I did a degree in industrial mathematics because I was a government sponsored student. And on top of that, ni ndaheagwo help ni the government, which was coming direct to my bank account. So oge compare whatever the government has done right now, it is like actually a reverse psychology. It is kind of just going retrogressive. Usoka na rifadhi todo haria githomo giakinyete instead of moving forward nego sokia turasokia na thutha and it's not just about the university education as we speak right now mathina maria universities not just the students gina arimu maragerera the University of Nairobi right now it is at crisis etiguo Moi University just the other day etiguo ziroga irenda kuhigwo Technical University just towards the end of last year arimu matura magomaga what is happening in our country about the higher education the government ne efirite and it have to admit because totigiuga we can't clap for it totigetinda tukioterera these side shows at the government has planned you know what the government is doing irathie kuri ugo mashinani igaka cioro very petty and then they launch that they are doing the project that is not what we want the government as we speak of now Mr. Wambugu there are speculation that aruto aria mareka national examination this year they are at a verge of not doing the examination reason being there is no money to do that where is the money and the government we can see dish out money to everything we can see whatever that is happening also just this year still I went to a school you see I also chair some other groups and other initiatives nidrale in a school just back at home and I did talk to our to the Etagwatia headmaster about that school and it is very sad Mr. Wambugu to hear that the capitation in school it's very insufficient it is very sad to say at the Gina Thukuru we naruto more than 300 at uraheyo capitation ya grade 34 you see we were holding an event there in that primary school but the teachers told us you guys have to provide everything because from our side we can't even provide a tent reason being the government does not send any money to the public schools so it is high time that we come and rise we call off this bad governance of this government tondu githomo kugikinya atri turari ati tuka discuss githomo ati kana ni tuguthoma kana tigithoma you know Mr. Wambugu nie tigane githomo nie ndingikoretwo haria ngoragwo for your information I work at the largest private industrial park in Kenya etagwo Infinity emwe no wa Mwiki and it is courtesy of education so I feel very bad when I see at the they are not prioritizing education.
Kana ngwathia gate mundu muke
ni tuthimure thimo ino muria wiki akuaga wiki o ne kuga atiriri uria uriaga indo ciake ari wika agakua ari o wika thimo ino tumagirwo kwariria andu aria makoragwo mari akari muno andu aya makoragwo meyendete muno na matiendaga guteithania na andu aria angi mahuthagira indo ciao mari ika ati ona ungimahoya kindu ni megukoima ona mena kio ungikorwo wi mundu ta uyu ri thimo ino itumikaga gukwira atiriri ogwo wariaga indo ciaku uri wika hindi iria ugakorwo na gathina ukario ni thina waku o rio wika ndukaneterere mundu oke aguteithie ona aguteithia ndukona ona eno waregire kumateithia riria makubataraga tugithimura thimo njitagwo Evans Kimani
wanamenya Kiama kia Ngema nikio Gikuyu Ebumeru Association giathondekirwo mwaka-ini wa 1971 anene mari gikonyo kiano eta muikariri giti Lucas Kamau ari mwandiki mukaru Moi wa Kibaki muigu wa kigina na Warurukaja Takarani Mutabania kana organizing secretary Omuthi uyu kiukaine ta Ngema kana Gikuyu Ebumeru Akamba Association kiria muthingi wakio ni urumwe witu niguo hinya witu riu no wamenya na nie getwo Wairimu wa Njogu
Uremi ni munyiginyigi wa utonga wa bururi naguo uremi kaunti-ini ya Kiambu na gicigo kia Mount Kenya ni ithaga na utonga uria twirahagira. Guku gwa Kiambu TV tutioyaga uremi na itheru tukirehwo kuriwe ni Elgon Kenya Thabiti Planting na Thabiti Top Dressing Fertilizer kuria tukumurikaga tugethomithia na tugacenjania ugi na uhuthiri wa fertilizer igwete ya Thabiti Planting na Thabiti Top Dressing kuma kwa Elgon Kenya. Nyitanagira na ithuĩ o muthenya wa Jumatatu tugikurehera urimi na arimi aria meku kwanyu twinore na turime gũkumia na bataraitha ya Thabiti Planting na Thabiti Top Dressing kuma kwa Elgon Kenya. Nĩ turime gũkumia tondũ urimi nĩ ũtonga.
Nĩ wega mũno makĩria mwĩroreri wa Kiambu TV thĩinĩ wa tabarĩra ya Kagũrũ Karĩme ngĩũteithia Johanaini nĩ ũndũ wa kĩndũ gwĩtwo gwĩtukana kidogo ngwĩraga citagwo macini hiyo reketera moko ma andũ na itikĩaga ũguo. Tũrathiĩ na mbere na ndeto rũcinĩ rwa ũmũthĩ mũno makĩria tũrathiĩ na mbere na kũmũrĩka kĩndũ gwĩtwo sector ya gĩthomo gũkũ bũrũri-inĩ na mũtongoria wa yuthi kũmenya kũrĩa wadi ya Mwiki na mũndũ gwĩtwo Mũriithi Alex nĩ tũnake rũcinĩ rwa ũmũthĩ na tũgĩcokereria Alex ũkũhutagia ũhoro wa kĩndũ gwĩtwo mũtaratara ũrĩa ũrahũthĩkaga nĩguo mũkorwo mũkĩheo kĩndũ gwĩtwo HELB.
Yes, nĩguo ngũkwĩraga during the tenure ya Mr. Matiang'i as the cabinet secretary we saw a lot of reforms na wa mbere warĩ ku avoid ũhoro wa ũkora wa igerio na the application and the timelines and the HELB by then nĩguo ngũkwĩraga atĩrĩrĩ after now you had qualified now you get the mean grade ile cut off point ya C+ woka university ko woka wita government sponsored wasagura kothira wasagura re and now to the school that you have been posted now accordingly to sagura na cut offs and the competition that is there wathuro ngoro wa post kuri ugo horo kutarutan that post rokura jai kwatri maka evaluate my total fees makona trade I should pay around 112,000 kana giri igana ya 20 that is for every semester. So as a government sponsored student government yarihaga a very huge amount of money for that. Actually thirikari ni yarihagira kindu giri 80 something every semester. So wakoraga riu ni besira fati kwirihira school fees re fati kwirihira around 20 to 25,000 kana to 30,000 ile siku imeenda sana. So on top of that thirikari waigwa ni aba yariha that is 80,000 na yarihaga that 80,000 to each and every student who has been actually been enrolled as a government sponsored na program ile asagura ri ni ria thirikari yetikira kumurihira. So on top of that ni wathiaga ru wakorwo still if you have an issue with now the financial upkeep you know now the upkeep ya mundu uri university ri ugathi uka apply HELB which was separate no so sagure ku apply HELB ko muciari waku ni kota gwika atia kurugamagira maundu maku ma mahuthiro but if you have a challenge still ukakorwo encouraged ku apply for the HELB wa apply HELB ri maheanaga from a range of 40,000 to 60,000 that is per academic year that 60,000 kana 40,000 makagania maita meri you have 2 semesters so the first semester ugatumira giri 20 kido giri 25 kana giri 20 kana giri 30 kana akora hiro giri 60 and the other person agatumiro so icio ciokaga your direct bank so ni ndathia kuria bengi nie na ngoragwo na ATM ya kwenda ndahithiraga nayo HELB na gwiciria ATM yo tondu yari ya Equity Bank it only withdrew money ya HELB because I never got any other money from any other bank because I was a student. So bearing in mind kana kurora hindi iyo ya mbere na thaicire you see by then ona ningio ire ngiri ici ciakwa ndaheo ngiri 20 na ndehe bithi ino ingi yothe ndareherwo ituo so by all means or maybe by any state even at a bad state ni ndamenyaga no nginya ndirika kigerio giakwa ni guthoma ituo so I was just remaining with one thing to struggle with my food and the rent during the in my tenure during the campus but as we speak of now thirikari whatever it has said and you know the bad picture or maybe the bad thing with our government thirikari eno nita ikomago uguo tuko yakoma tuko ri it get something it can implement I don't know what strategy they use kana kiria mugaga megwika then they just come without even preparing or testing whatever they want to impose magoka maka implement matinera aciari matinera arutwo matinera mundu wothe o mageciria niguo marenda na mageka na meka uguo ri we have seen whatever has happened. The new model thirikari gina igoti rikarugamia but the government is insisting of doing it why because they have their procedures or maybe they have their interest ugirora whatever that has been happening in our country as at now sector ya githomo it is totally confusing actually the country we are in right now it is not encouraging mwana uria you know the only thing a peasant's son can just know that they will do that thing na agakorwo akigacira mutorene it is only through education so the tiuga ati ni uguthura uthaka mubira ati kana urenda gutuika undertaker utangigituika na ndungigakinya hari urenda ugakinya itiguo so the only thing that we can give to our children right now ni githomo so the government ni ifati atiriri even if it has good policies in education ni taru ni ndathomire mathabu ni ndikure gutha ndithandia haraja ikwatri we learned about modeling and in modeling you know in mathematics it's just about problem solving or whether aja na mathina maria mekuo and me I understand the process that should be used in any problem that is there if ati gukona steps from analyzing the problem to get the constraints ukageria ugathie the first step ya develop the model uka implement na ugathie ukame solve gina uga test na uka involve all the stakeholders but this very government it is just a one side show you era decide negeka and implementing and we have seen it is just adversely affecting our peoples and everybody in our country
takitu hutia riri uhoro wa new funding model ene rikuo kwa ihinda riri thirikari imeganite na bands na munathina kana hihi munathina na itwa riu
twina thina munene muno Mr. Wambugu because ndungijira atiriri woka wa out of your no data by the way thirikari no actually it doesn't make a decision with any facts thirikari no ikaraga just in a boardroom and decide it will just allocate you anywhere for instance musiari waku ri ni arathi ugakora atiri ni ekiriro a band ati musiari waku ni a middle class ana no urakora aciari angi aciari marero ati musiari mwana wake ni middle class kana musiari ni middle class ana ri mundu ucio arutaga ifarua you know how hard as at now it is to even get one meal for a family you know na so the thing is it is actually discouraging na the worst part is that this government dirakoro is straightforward dirarekiria maudu and it is not coming to a plan diroka ikagatiri we intend to do this kwonto kona kaida gaka so kugate nurahe ando bands and you are not basing them with the facts kana the data that is in the ground how thirikari irahetia then another problem with this funding model ni the timelines because even as at now kulina adu matari marathi university because they are not aware that whether they'll manage to get their resources maybe to fund them etiguo about their personal upkeep then haria na asiari they are still in fear ati marero marihe giri kana giri magana maigana ona for maybe a course like medicine you know this government is to some level punishing somebody for their intellectual capacity ati wathoma muno you know you can bear with me Mr. Wambugu ati ciana ira cihetukaga kothi iria nene kana ciana ira ciperformaga wega it is mostly from the families that are not well financially etiguo and now these people neo wera atiriri ati we urenda gwika ndagitari kana urenda gwika lo then you should pay this amount of money ati thirikari irenda igukombithie pesa and you are not aware even whether after you finish your campus or maybe your university education kana ne ukakoro kiona wira and that is what is making our youths or maybe most of our graduates just be desperate in life and have the depression because ne wakomberwo pesa then as at now thirikari nenda gugwithia pesa ideko pesa icio so the thing is we are coming out of a pan tukaruga mwakini we are actually retrogressive we are actually applying an exponential decay in terms of education yeah na thirikari no ifati imenye ogwo na andu aria mari thirikari ni we are not saying that they don't have good policies let them engage the relevant sectors let them tag along all the stakeholders na ninge maturie ciuria ithu student leaders na ithu students maturie atiriri this is what we want to do will you be okay with this by this time even they hear from our side
no atiriri
yes
thirikari gitetera irauga atiriri marageria kurehe kindu gwitwo equity na fairness thini wa githomo
yeah you know this government of ours as at now ino ne thirikari itangitikio in any of the thing it says because as at now Mr. Wambugu there is nothing substantial thirikari no igiuga ekeire andu a Kenya itiguo in the health sector it is actually paralyzed in the education sector it is now in the ditches in the transport and everything there is nothing that is happening so kugate ndare hehoro wa equity then it should be substantiating to that you know this government is doing a lot of PR you know thirikari no being led by our president Mr. William it is just trying to say good things that they can do maudu maigi mega but it is actually doing extremely the opposite na mia mundu gwitwo Jona atumwo ni Ngai kuria uguo atumirwo kuria itura ria kiri yani Nefe athia kahujie you know Jona went to direct opposite athira itura retagwo Tarshish and you know that was very bad tondu Ngai amekire sure mundu ni ekatia this is what the government is doing our government igeretie ku deploy all the state organs to paint a clear picture and a good picture atinireka maundu mega but in the ground the situation is worsening and it is painful and it is heartbreaking but there is nothing to be happy about if we are talking at a stage that education right now in our country at automatically thomaga kana it will not be a freedom or maybe it will not be access to everybody
kahi tutangihe kindu gitwo funding model eno njeruri tutingimehe time tuneka ni gukinyanira ria
irendekana tutingimehe time because even the transition itself it is just full of a lot of issues what I can advise the government there is no urgency in doing these things and you know for any government Mr. Wambugu the very bad thing you see you find the status quo you know for any government you should not actually go below the status quo you should at least remain or maybe sustain the status quo kana uthie na mbere so tutigugate no tumehe kahinda because the situation will continue to worsen netugi atiriri what the government should do tutiraregana in a good policy about the funding model let us first of all give the policy time let us subject this policy to the relevant tasks to make account to make research to make evaluate and we find out whether it is good and the things that needs to be amended then we give the people's time to get ready aria me form 1 kana form 2 the ICA it will apply to them the rest who are here let us first of all ensure they just utilize the other model that was there nigetha atiriri tondu you see the reason is why we have a lot of issues and a lot of questions turora ni atiriri why is the government forcing us to take in this thing yet it is not working so leke tutiga kugate thirikari no tu egihonokia bururi uyu witu it should not take it as a matter of between life and death leke tweterere kahinda ninge tutige meria ngima nene compared to the mboga that is it let us take our time ndungiria guikia mutaso and you are expected to walk step by step so kira kihwatiriri we don't have any bad thing or maybe atukatani na hiyo model ya university but let us take time we evaluate it understand it and implement it when it is necessary yes
model eno in alone autorima ha alone
actually the thing is you are the person to cater for your full education they want just to assume nita maraguteithia no marenda maguguikia in a fix that rori ruria ruothe uguthoma naruo ni ugacoka kuriha yes that is what they want marenda makuhe mbeca icio thirikari irenda kwiyeheria out of now this responsibility ya go take like the responsibility yago pay for the higher education because this is an asset we are investing in our generation in our youth in our pupils because we will reap from this later so the government irenda kuyeheria murigo-ini uyu then just go away with it and you see it want to take back the burden to the pupils and to the parents which is very bad
mutarutwo ri nakaga ni kujira wikite mathabu ri mutarutwo mungienda atia nete murenda solution mungeheana
the solution we can give to the government first of all it should first of all listen to us this government kido irekari nirehura githuri muno na those people who are in the government I wonder to which classes they reached because this government is the one that has a lot of very many people with less intellectual capacity and ikiora koratiriri even arguing with them you heard the other day ati ne makinyete ngina hando mekuga ati mathafu mathafu the game of numbers will not be a compulsory subject in schools you wonder who had come with such a thing nona so the thing is the government you know for you ne bito idwothe and we must do this thing together the government should be willing to enhance this thing because the first thing the government don't have thirikari dire nawe dimwega wa guteithia ruto kana ko enhance githomo what the government want to do irenda ko extrapolate kana kunenehia this gap between the rich and the poor nigetha mwana wa muthini ri ndagathoma ndagatonga na nigetha athini maturage makumagirira kana makungaga kana mawoshipaga andu aya atongu. So what the government should do as at now, let it revert back to the old model. First of all, let people be getting their helps, those who have qualified aria mathoma makinya cut off points mathi na mbere na kurihwo ni thirikari. Then now let us table this new model on the table. Let us involve everybody. Let us call all the stakeholders on the table. Then discuss. This is how it will be affecting this state. This is how it will be affecting the pupils. Na maundu tamaya. Then we discuss. Let us deploy mathematicians, people who have a knowledge about this. Let us get kuhuthira riri. Just anybody, just people who have. Na me thirikari no rahuthira celebrities to make their policies. Let us use technocrats, people who are informed on whatever the effect can be, and we will actually succeed. But to gedina bere kugate, you know, like now it is like a force, like it's cohesion. These people are working against this and these are working against this. So there is no way we can move together. No. So kila thirikari ifati gwikari ni tiga go force andu gwika undu matarenda, and ni tiga gutinde kirigiriria andu maundu matarenda. Akoni maundu maya magithomori, let us get back to where we were and we get to the drawing board, then we accelerate, we move together. Yes.
Ni mugereti nywe mutatongoria aruto murita aruto hihi guikara thina mukageria kwariria thirikari ni mugereti
kiria kiho Mr. Wambugu as at now the status quo. You know, this government of President William ni a very cunning government. You had last year when pupils magaririe kana students magaririe kurayota just to demonstrate about this funding model. Na menya thirikari no gina riria twari na open air, or maybe the president had called a lot of student leaders. They went there, they asked a lot of actually very good questions, demanding for answers from the president. And you know what the president did? President anyitire, I think, a group of like 100 or 200 pupils and student leaders. Amanyitira kimatwara Korea State House. And Korea State House adwasio athira akimahe kile kido. I know of not 2 or 3, actually more than 10 that mathire ku thirikari ni, and they were, some of them magikoro appointed to be in the committee that is now enhancing. And believe you me, up to date there is no report that have ever come out of that committee. What the government is trying to do, irageria yona you are rising to now call off about its maybe punitive things. Irathi kamunyita igagoikia hado yago silence very ne silence uriogere, then there is nobody who will speak. Right now, most of the universities, we hardly see demonstrations calling for the for the equal things about students, calling for the justice for students, because the government yagira kore universities ni yathire first of all it make sure andu aria marakoro elected in the administration kana the student leadership executive marakoro like they are puppets of the administration. And ikora all public universities siena mathina from administration to student leadership to everything nagina maundu macio mafis. So the government kirere to avoid now the liarity of now failed government delivery, irathie kugeria ko inject igasort andu aya ikamafanga, then the student will just remain with nobody to talk for them. So for me, what I can say, with the student leaders, the people who have served in the student leadership, we need to come together and talk on this matter, because togethina bere gukiro the issue will worsen and it will get to a point that it will be out of our hands. So we should see like every universities, we need to hold the government accountable. We can call this thing off and we say it must be done. If it won't be done, then we will put down our tools and everything. Then we see what can happen.
No netri.
Yes.
Aikoimi muta students leader kana hii muta students leader muti kunyitana. Kore mwanyu maguthie State House maheo kanyamu.
Yes.
No kumutetera.
Hau hatire na muteteri na nikyo urakora atiriri bara ino irathie karituha ugakora riu arutwo ri aria anini mangihota kuri hari they just cooperate aria mate kuhota which is the larger percentage magathi na mbere gwika atia gwikara mate guthoma. You know, we are talking, you know, the current population of people with a degree in our country, it is less than 30%. No amenya ko argue as intellectuals dealing with people who don't have information kana matare na academic maybe knowledge, ikorogo very hard to argue with somebody whose understanding is very low. So you see, with this percentage urakora riu andu aya matare na githomori ne marathi go maka overwhelm the few people who have education. So the thing is, we people who have understood this thing and we know how good education is and we know how transformative education is, then we should not allow. Tutifatie gukira. So my very big challenge I feel even to us the student leaders tutifatie gwetikira kuhakwo because you find that once you are given something orakora most student leaders they are actually not doing anything to assist the students and that is where we are going wrong. So ni urejuga atiriri even as the student leaders let us organize ourselves and be rigid. Let us be focused and stand firm to our decisions. Let us say if it is not this way then this will not happen and then we unite and do this thing together. Yes.
Okay, nigatho makeria murori wa Kiambu TV haya hothe uketwa githina direct to rucine rwa umuthi twa mundu gwitwo Alex na twinake ni mutongoria wa Mbeũ Njĩthĩ, ni mutongoria wa youth kumagia kuria kurugwitwo mwena wa Mwiki no twathina bena ukianaria nake muno makeria tukirora kindu gigwitwo makaya ma arutwo guku bururi-ini na undu muno kindu gigwitwo new funding model ira kirehwo ni thirikari kana ria ikirehetwo ni thirikari na bena kwana na ithui namba itu ya thimu ni 0717818808 ng'enda-inĩ citũ ciokeneria page itu ya Kiambu ni kana page itu ya Facebook ni Kiambu TV ũndũ mwe na page yakwa Kiumbe Wambugu wa Gichuki. Ndũmĩrĩri cianyu ndĩrona mwanyu nĩ mũgĩtũmĩte na makĩria makereire ka waru mũndũ gwitũ Alex Kim nĩ ngatho mũno makĩria njĩra ngũgeithie na wera kiuga wethomagĩra thukuru wa NIBS no ndoĩ ũhoro wa new funding model ĩno no akĩnjĩra agĩthikĩrĩria rĩ aona he feels that the new funding is very unfair and favor the students from their families while leaving the poor ones struggle.
Exactly. That is very true. Yeah.
Hari mundu wajira nguria tiriri ni murona tatugucoka hari help ni murona tatugicoka hau.
The thing is kio ni kiuria kiega. Gwiciria thirikari ino ri you know of the reforms that we need to do there is a lot that needs to be done. Tugiwa ni gucoka hari help actually that is what we are advocating for. Tondo either way urenda kwira Mr. Wambugu ri akorwo whatever you have brought to us ndiratutwarithia na mbere ri kaba twambe tucoke hari atwari. That should be what we are advocating for. Unless this funding model, which I hardly doubt, at the thirikari no enhance further, netuge isfatie gwekate usoki how. The thing is, how are we going to get there? That's where now I'm coming on board. Gameratredi, all students, all student leaders, let us unite, let us talk, let us address this matter. You know, if you see these unions, Sia Arimo, when Kupet and all these teachers unions, they down their tools and they say the government must listen to us and attend to our matters, netuonaga with persistence, it's normally actually implemented. The same thing we should do. Let us actually be true to ourselves. Like right now, I feel so sad. I was talking to my sister. My sister should be doing her form for this year. But she was telling me, Alex, now, will everything go all right? Will I also be in the university and study like you? Because she feels like the government right now, it is not guaranteeing. There is not that assurance that dago madahe tukari. Because you see, formally there, kiria qualify gatago the university, kana making you to become a university material was just excellence in academic. Wahe tukari, you are assured that you will go to the university. But as at now, if you excel, actually the higher chances you might not go there. If you are from a poor or maybe a humble background. So the thing is, let us actually address this issue. Let us unite. Let us say that enough is enough. Let us tell the government the truth. Because whatever the government is taking away from us, it is only us who can understand. In my inbox or maybe in my groups or maybe in my interactions, me, I know how young people are hungry for success. And they know the most sure way is through education. Look, you are taking their last hope. That is just like equivalent to just killing them. You don't deserve to be living, you just need to go there. And that is why most of the students or maybe most of our young people, they have given up with life because the only thing that was left for them to make them ascend the ladder, it was education. And now the very education, it's now directly being taken away from them. So the issue is, let us call off this. Let us say and unite and do what it takes to make sure that we get back to where we belong.
Mundu ajiro horo wa future ya bururi ko editor maina gone kindu gigwitwo githomo.
Exactly.
Na turi hau ngurie future ya bururi wa Kenya hato kinyete. Muno makithini wa sector ya githomo. Uratigire hana ate no rene ihana ate wita mutongoria wa Ruto University.
kiuria kiu ni kiega muno na thank you muno Mr. Wambugu for that. The future actually of all sectors of our economy, or maybe the country, the prosperity of a country, it actually relies on the richness of its young people. First, you know, to the access, kind the knowledge, we can access, we are energetic and we are healthy. So you see the productivity, you know, it is not rocket science. There is no miracle that will happen that about the progress and prosperity of a country. It is a deliberate thing. No ginya twake fururi kuwaka na mahiga guthinga haha thiguga tugathinga. But now we are taking the most sure thing, because in the world one thing that will make us a standard and equal and actually make sure that we are all standard, it is education. Mwana wa muthini na mwana wa gitonga gutire mundu wira gwate githomo giki ni ya gitonga kana githomo giki ni kia muthini. The performance of an intellectual person, of an educated person, ikoragwo way much better. So the thing is right now our country is at risk of sinking even deeper. You know, the former president, maybe President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, President Mwiki Kibaki, they did something. Namya modo gwetwo Mwiki Kibaki re okari near enhanced for free education in all primary schools, and we are actually beneficiaries of that. Na nikyo twi haha turakira hiro horeko ohoro ucio. Then President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta niyo kire nake agika kaundu gake about the education sector. Then there is this government that we have right now. It is actually not actually doing even building anything. It is actually demolishing whatever that is there. So the thing is we can't actually accept to be mistreated kana being taken away kana turutwo kana tutunyo githomo kira tui no kyo kingituteithia. We are actually the large in numbers, we are the energetic, we are the most intellectual. And why all there, the only problem we have, it is our government. And the thing we need to do, if the government that we have, that it can't, maybe it has actually proven beyond reasonable doubt that the rat tora na bereri, then we should just do the necessary. We take it aside and we have other people ruling us and maybe guiding us. So that is the only way that we can be assured that the prosperity of our country lies on our young people. Exactly.
Kinyiro hau ni kunyongea dakika cigana ona tondu ndiona hari mundu ahuti horo wa kindu gitwa unemployment ona mwatho magutina mawira akuo murari wa Kiambu TV tuna mundu ogwitwo Alex no twinake rucine rwa umuthi atugithii na mbere na kindu gigwitwo sector ya mathomo guku bururi-ini undu muna kindu gigwitwo ayuthi ni atia marenda na niki kiu marakienda tukomboikiri hanini twambe tuhiuke marigiti tumurike ndumiriri cigana cia wonjoria ndwagethi hara tucoka gucokereria turamurika horo imaine kindu gigwitwo wagi wa mawira guku bururi-ini ana makiria thiini wa sector ya Mbeũ Njĩthĩ.
Wanamenya message, text kana ndumiriri nguhi ya thimu ya mbere yatumirwo mwaka wa 1992 ni engineer Nell Papworth. Igitumwo kuma gwi computer ngina thimu-ini yaugaga Merry Christmas. Ikirugoria uhuthiri utumi na wamukiri wa ndumiriri nguhi na gukorwo umwe ya maundu ma thimu maria mahuthikaga muno. O muthenya gugitumwo makiria ma ndumiriri nguhi bilioni 18. Riu ni wamenya na nie getwo Wairimu wa Njogu.
Thimura thimo ino muikari mutegetina niwe oe kiria thambo iriaga. O ne kuga atiriri gutire mundu ungi ungimenya maundu ma mucii ta uria wikaraga mucii ucio. Thimu ino itumagirwo kwariria andu aria metuaga nio moi maundu ma mundu gukira mwene. Kuri andu ukoraga magitenderia ndeto cia mundu kana maundu maria mathiaga na mbere mucii kwa mundu ta maikaraga gwake. Itumagirwo gwikirira andu ta acio mukana kumera mamenye ciao matige kumenya ciene. Uguo wona mundu agika maundu ma mucii gwake ri, ona akorwo urarigwo arameka niki, tigana nake. Gutire mundu oe maundu ma mucii ta mwene, tondu muikari mutegetina niwe oe kiria thambo iriaga. Giguthimurira thimo njitawa Ngari wa Kamau.
Uremi. Urimi ni munyiginyigi wa utonga wa bururi, naguo urimi kaunti-ini ya Kiambu na gicigo kia Mount Kenya ni ithaga na utonga uria twirahagira. Guku gwa Kiambu TV tutioyaga urimi na itheru, tukirehwo kuri we ni Elgon Kenya Thabiti Planting na Thabiti Top Dressing Fertilizer, kuria tukumurikaga tugethomithia na tugacenjania ugi na uhuthiri wa fertilizer igwete ya Thabiti Planting na Thabiti Top Dressing kuma kwa Elgon Kenya. Nyitanagira na ithwe o muthenya wa Jumatatu tugikurehera urimi na arimi aria meku kwanyu, twinore na turime gukumia na fertilizer ya Thabiti Planting na Thabiti Top Dressing kuma kwa Elgon Kenya. Ni turime gukumia tondu urimi ni utonga.
Kaka, hii ni miujiza. Mimi nimejaribu kulima wa mahindi hadi nimekata tamaa.
Nimebadilishwa na kilimo cha mahindi. Nauza mahindi yamenijengea. Na pia mashamba nimepata. Na isitoshe, napata lishe bora ya mifugo yangu.
Shamba ndogo hivi unapata mazao mengi na pesa nyingi. Siri kwa wapi?
Siri ni hii. Kwa mazao kemkem, napanda nikitumia Elgon Thabiti Maize Planting na baadaye napalilia nikitumia Elgon Thabiti Maize Top Dressing. Bas, matokeo ni mazao ya ajabu.
Wacha nikatafuta hiyo Thabiti.
Ini niguo ugie maciaro mabemba-ine. Huthira fertilizer ya Thabiti Planting na Thabiti Top Dressing iria yongereirwo noru niranyihia acid tiri-ini niguo kuongerera magetha. We ti bebe, ti boga, ti nyanya kana mumero ungi wothe, magetha marikoragwo tu wahuthira Thabiti Planting na Thabiti Top Dressing Fertilizer. Thabiti Planting na Thabiti Top Dressing Fertilizer ni hitukie ni ataramu kwagirithia irio na mugunda waku.
Well, tugicokereria mwirori wa Kiambu TV haya hothe ukire tugithi na mbere na ndereti turu cinirwa umuthi atuna mundu ugwitwo Alex ne gutuga ndaika onini tu niguo tuko tukimulika kiri ugwitwo ciuria cianyu muno makiria cimenya kiri ugwitwo unemployment iria murakiuria na horo kimenya na kiri ugwitwo abduction o hanini tondu mutongoria wa yuthi na muno makiria thini wa kana koretwo akiri mutongoria wa yuthi nyamba nyamukire thimu cianyu. Kiambu TV, hello.
Have received a reverse call request.
Aya, nwega, nwa muno makiria. Ninawe na kuhura thimu, namba itu thimu na 0717818808 ngere-ini citu cia ukianaria na ni kwara page itu ya Kiambu TV. Odo mona page yako Wambugu wa Gichuki, woni wothe kana kiurio gikona kio giothe kuri mundu gwitwa Alex atuna karucinirwa muthi thimu yaku tukumiamukira na tukorwo tugikimuria Alex tucoka gucokereria ri hari mundu wari uhoro akindu gwitwa unemployment na ajira ndaina mwihoko no gwitwo ugithomo tondu na mwathoma ri wagi wa mawira ri uri okuo Dwara uhoro wa funding model ona ya thugutha ri ndaona thirikari ndaona undu munene tari uhoro wa kindu gwitwa unemployment kuhana te koidereria
reke njokerie mundu ucio ma tondu whatever he has said kana she has said it is actually very heartbreaking. That is the level that tukinyete turita Mbeũ Njĩthĩ afrorio people have given up. I tell you ucio ni mwega ni arahota kuyaria but the status quo people have given up. Young people doesn't have hope. They are actually just surviving. Let me tell you Mr. Wambugu, mauduma unemployment it is actually a national disaster in our country. You see the rate at which graduates mararekia universities, talk of the colleges, talk of maybe the institutions, all of them mararekia guka kuingira now in the employment sector na matrona mawira, it is actually on a high level. It is actually rising rapidly. Ogirona bado from high school go transition to the national to the higher level education aria marasoka kwaga kuingira haha like today the current pupils magaikagerio gya form 4 it is 996,000 pupils na out of those aria mathiaga university makoragwo less than 100,000 then we have like a population of 90% ado ngiri magana mugwanja kana ngiri magana matandatu on a lower side ati aria matagakorwo na mawira and you see what is happening in our government or maybe what is happening in our country both with education and without education all the men on the same page ya kwaga mawira. By the way, I tell you in my WhatsApp and in my conversation, because I have a lot of contacts about students, those who have finished school and some are still in school, I tell you every day I normally get like 5 or more than CVs. Siado makejira demegeria kumateithia kuona attachments na gina mawira. Gina mundu ni arakwira atiriri Alex ni ona ikono nyonage handu ndirionaga kindu gya kuria peke yake na kuriha rent, I'll be just be contented with that. Like the pride of education ni kinyete handu ikaga. Na menya when I was a very small boy, ngithoma de primary school re, ndaiguaga mundu athie university re, wajagia kurihwo ni thirikari waingira university. But the reality as at now, it is the other way around. Ona andu mara suffer more. Ona andu mara go through like the hardships na muturire muritu ni arutwo. Because the academic maybe lifestyle it's hard. Urakora mundu areka a very tough course. Mundu reka engineering kana mundu reka a technical course, mundu reka mathabu maritu. Those people need time. Mundu ucio arabatara agathi kirathi, aka walk in the park, agathi handu rungu wa muti, akahota ko internalize the concepts. But the status quo in our country, ukoragwo wi kirathi waririkana ndu kuria sapa kana ndu kuria raji ona content ile kata ikora. Then the hard part ukamenya ati gina wale kia sukuru on this other end you will tarmac and believe you me we have so many people, so many graduates mareketia sukuru and right now they are actually in addiction because of depression and everything. So they can't actually accept the reality. Yet on a daily basis niturona thirikari, you know, there is no way we can say that a whole national government at era provide mawira because at maybe through maybe construction at these cheap houses at thirikari rathondeka at affordable houses. Riu urenda kujira Mr. Wambugu, how can we verify at mundu wa thoma university athoma their degree in engineering kana eka mathabu kana eka medicine any of the courses then wamura ati okay oeka firo. You know, that is even discrediting education. Ona mundu urenda gukorwo uracuthiria mundu eta role model ne gukorwo discouraged. So the thing is actually the truth is the status quo is our country as at now there is no development. There is nothing that is, the economy is like stagnant. So there is no way to give ate mawira ni marathondekwo. Yet the government itself thirikari ndingithondeka mawira directly. Actually it can't even create 5% jobs. What the government needs to do, thirikari ifati just to work on policies. You know, any government officer should in his or her engagement any word that comes from a government officer ifati ya kurehe live and not only live ifati gukoro egithondeka kwagiria so that maybe somebody somewhere will find it worthy to invest and through the your investment through other people and investors that is how the economy grows and people get money. Some can start business na gemakade kwa mawira. But this analogy that karira hudirate ya kugati we need to do the housing program to create jobs, that is actually null and void. The government should maybe enhance. You see, in the production in our company there we have a lot of manufacturing and I tell you, even the business owners, they are crying. The government acts negatively, directly opposite of what it is expected. The only thing that the government does right, it is collection of revenues. The government will be very much strict. The Nairobi County government will actually come and confirm to the latter everything about the collection, but in the implementation they will do absolutely nothing. So that is where the challenge is. Yes, the investors want to invest to create jobs, but now the government on the other hand, it is taking the revenues, the import duties and everything, yet they are not creating or enhancing any jobs. The young people in our country as at now, nobody can even maybe manage to start a small business. You know, the taxes that are there, the license, maybe the processes that are there ukianjia ka biashara ri ndirakwira ni kuritu kanju ukoragwo uguo kiendi uguo wona kanju even I believe you have been in town akoni wonaga andu makiedia kure what normally happens it is heartbreaking ate mutumia already anyanya with no offense and doing nothing ate endagi uguo akihugaga even those people who are doing mitumbas and everything like me I wonder what is the government doing to enhance for these people namenya thirikari ikonira kugeria gukuruta handu hai ifatigo guthi gutwara handu thoko-ini handu uriendagiria so our government right now it is doing actually 0% on enhancing and actually providing employment yet it is actually discouraging investors and big peoples right now. Banks in our country they can't lend, they are lending to government not to individual parties so that you know ungehota gukorwo ate nino nyone karoni ka ngirigana kana ngiribagana meriri ni ngwandika na nyandike mundu ngetigu the thing is if I can get something for myself then another person can get for themselves but right now the government our government is actually doing nothing and I want to tell my youth and our youth this you see I'm a student of history ndathomire history and I understand the Arab Spring the Arab Spring whatever that cost the immediate cost ya Arab Spring yari there was this Mohammed Bouazizi ari one of the youth there na youth kore ugo Tunisia mundu uyu gwetwo Mohammed ri ari na kanyamuga trori ga kwendia matunda and you see what the government did because he had not be complied with some of those regulations they have implicated mokire magi confiscate the katroli na matunda make. You know what Mohammed did Mohammed Bouazizi athire mbere wa office ya thirikari ya Tunisia na agesina and he died and he said that I have died because I don't see the reason of living because our government has done this and that the same thing our government is doing to this nation it is actually discouraging kuthreaten ayuthina Mbeũ Njĩthĩ and doing absolutely nothing so the thing is we must call off this and the youth we can unite and once we unite we will call off these things because the government right now it is kind of very much arrogant irafir ina hinyosi wothe nirahota gutukinyira na gwika maundu mothe yeah but we as the youth we have the power we as the people we have the power so we should utilize the resources that we have youth we can actually organize very strategically and very conveniently so let us just take advantage with what we have and see how we can manage to hold this government accountable actually me I feel like every young people should be an activist the government should be accountable to us. We are the ones who have put them to power. And one thing I want to remind our people, these problems that we have in our country, it is all being caused by our government leaders.
Yes. Kiambu TV, hello, good morning. Good morning, hello, Kiambu TV. Ucio ni akiura thina mbere na kwanena ithuĩ kuhura thimu namba itu ya thimu ni 0717818808 tugithii na mbere na kindu gwitwo ndereti itu rucini rwa umuthi tire mundu gwitwo Alex Natuna rucini rwa umuthi ni mutongoria wa yuthi kumugia kuria wa dini ya Mwiki undu mwe akoitwo ni mutongoria wa yuthi thuku-ini wa JKUAT. Kiambu TV, hello, good morning. Hello, good morning, Kiambu TV.
Mr. Nelson.
Yes, ndari now.
Yo ne kanyo story mwe.
Kwa hana atia?
Kutina kauri.
Karibu sana Kiambu TV.
Yes, bila naigua kuma Rwaka.
Ona turarĩria ũhoro kĩmanya kĩndũ gĩgwĩtwo ayuthi na gĩthomo. Ona sector ya gĩthomo ihana atia gũkũ bũrũri-inĩ? Hello Kiambu TV. Ucio ni akiura ni wega muno makiria thina mbere na kwanena ithuĩ namba itu ya thimu ni 0717818808 ondu muna kure muna wa WhatsApp ndumiriri cianyu ugitume ni gutugithii na mbere na gucirongoreria uria twagithie na mbere na tabarĩra itu rucini rwa umuthi. Hari ndu wahutia Alex uhoro wegimanya na kindu gĩgwĩtwo ringi ugikura na ona ithuĩ twikora hari mundu tuonaga ukauga wathi cukuru no ndagutuika mundu fulani na uga kwa ihinda rĩrĩ gutirĩ na mwĩhoko ũcio gutirĩ na hope ĩyo generation ya bũrũri ũyũ ya rũciũ turamiga handũ hahana atia?
Generation ya bũrũri ũyũ rĩ, we need to understand, we need to be liberal. Things have changed, but despite the fact that we are becoming liberal, we need still to be conservative on the other hand. To maũndũ mothe tũbatie ku embrace with that. We know we are Africans, and we have our cultural values. We must not embrace a lot there because we know how things should be run. Whatever that is good for us, tũbatie to take in. And with now this generation is very much informed. This generation is very much curious, and these people want to know a lot. So the kind of the places or maybe the things that are maybe transpiring in our country and in the world, we need to formulate things that will now accommodate these people. Also on that note, the population right now, it is growing very rapidly. Actually, the rate at which Adomara grow to mature to become now the youth, and maybe in the youth sector we expect a lot from them, it is actually alarming and very high. So the thing is, we are actually at a crossroad. We have a lot of forces that are acting towards the youth, and now the youths are in a dilemma. Some of them are actually getting away with it, some of them are actually getting influenced by it. Disappointed. Actually, on the recent past, we have had even students who have gone to the university, ending up their lives. The things that young people are doing in the country right now, so the thing is, we the young people, despite the situation that is there in our country, how bad it is, we must never give up. Ona thirikari ingĩtũritũhĩria maũndũ, ona ĩrehe maũndũ marĩkũ, ĩrutũhĩrie gĩthomo, we will not give up. Niĩ nĩndirikanaga very well, in a few times back there, Dario School University, it got to a point ona ndaiguaga atĩrĩrĩ, like I'm very much tired. Ndageria ku-evaluate atĩrĩrĩ, gĩthomo gĩkĩ kweri nĩgĩkahe wĩra kana nĩngateithĩka nakĩo. But I had something, my inside was telling me, Alex, you can't afford to lose education. Ati ukoragwo atiriri we handle na githomo, you don't have a certificate, and then you don't have the job. So it's better you first have the first thing, maybe ona uyoka struggle here in future when your certificate. So to the young people, regardless of the situation, the thing is, the future belongs to those who believes in the beauty of their dreams. So we have all accepted that this government will actually absolutely do nothing to us. And actually, let me update them, it might even worsen for the next 2 or 3 years. But the thing is, we should declare and say that we won't allow this to happen. So where we are, just continue doing that. Now, your brother, your friend, or your colleague, just help them. Then we wait for that time. We do a decision. Yes.
Dogo jemo makeria na mudo oretagwo Kimani, ne students thukuru-ini wa Karatu University, na joria goria, what advice would you give to young people aria marastaraga gukorwo magifindika na gukorwo magetha mawira?
The thing is, niye jiraga atiriri young people. Niona mudu obothe. Actually, I have partnered with another company, itago Edupath Africa. I'm just assisting maybe university student graduates to also get attachments and maybe even employment. Ni gira atiriri Mbeũ Njĩthĩ we hau na ni wathoma. It is never in vain. Nduka regret gukorwo ni wathomire. Ni wamenya aciari aitu aingĩ Mr. Wambugu makoragwo mendetie even ni mendagia gina migunda. Ungĩtuĩria muno aciari aitu aingĩ mendagia ng'ombe, mahiũ mao mothe nigetha matuthomithie. Wewe hau wathire university kana college, you have your skilled na ni uthomete na ndũrĩ na wĩra, persist. It is never in vain. Kĩrĩa kĩho atirĩrĩ, it might not happen immediately, but I believe akoni hoya Ngai noke tuma na unajikaza itakuja kujipa siku moja. So the thing is, just try as much as possible. Do more of whatever you are doing. Try to gather some sort of knowledge. Try to combine, complement your degree. But right now, the world or maybe the employment sector, on skills. Also to young people, prove yourselves how you can stand out of anybody who is there. So when you first class kana second class, have some leadership skills. Me actually I never tarmacked. By the way, for your information, Mr. Wambugu, me dragged my certificate for my degree yesterday. My employer just gave me work without even requesting me to get the certificate because he felt like out of my academic credentials, I had other qualities that were rhyming up with whatever he wanted to give me. So niye ndĩramĩgĩrĩire tondũ ndĩronire thirikari ĩno ningĩ no ĩthiĩ ĩmĩhithe ningĩ yaji kũnjĩtia mbeca. Thirikari ĩno ndĩretĩkio. So the thing is, try as much as possible to do more. You see, ũngĩkorwo atĩ twĩnawe Mr. Wambugu twathiĩ interview, twĩna the same degree, but here aside, niĩ ndĩna certificate ya gũkorwo ndĩ chairman wa Gema, ndĩna certificate ya gũkorwo the secretary general wa Pan African Congress, kana Kenyatta University or Kenya etagwate JKUAT Pan African Congress. You see those things, it supplements and makes you a better person. So be willing to learn and talk nicely to people. Be an outgoing person. One other thing I want to tell students, especially if you are in the university, ndũgakorwo abukuoma. Right now we need street smart people, not just book smart people. Ndũngĩtũra tũthomaga atĩ na weterera tũkandĩkwo wĩra. People are actually doing it concurrently. Make sure you are enhancing your social network. Knowing people, tari mũndũ ũkũĩ kana mũndũ ũĩng'aniarĩ. That is when you just, because I can't take the vacancy, all the opportunities that are available. I will actually give it to my people who are actually adjacent to me or maybe just next to me. Actually on my status, anytime I get a vacancy, niĩ njĩragĩra andũ arĩa ndĩna haha thimũ-inĩ yakwa. So the same thing you need to do there. Be an outgoing person. Where there are actually conferences about the youth, go there, spend that 100 or 200, make sure you have gained something and you have made a network. That is how you grow. But ũgĩtuĩka atĩ ũrĩkoragwo wĩ an intruder, somebody who just busy himself. Ona kwĩragwo gĩkũyũ kiuga atĩrĩrĩ, mũndũ mũrogi nĩwe ũtũraga ika. So you should avoid that. Make sure you are an outgoing person, you learn and engage with people. Exactly.
Nĩ wega mũno makĩria. Ndĩrona ngwĩthĩ mũndũ etwo Daudi Kanyusto na nĩ ũragi wega mũno makĩria. Ona kene mũyuthi kumagia kũrĩa mwena wa Girigiri. Mũroreri wa Kiambu TV twathi na mbere na ndeto itũ rũcinĩ rwa ũmũthĩ mũno makĩria tũkĩrongoria na kwarĩ kĩndũ gĩtwa yuthi gũkũ bũrũri-inĩ thĩinĩ wa ikereka rĩrĩ tũragĩthiĩ na mbere na kũmũrĩka kĩndũ gĩtwo wagi wa mawĩra gũkũ bũrũri-inĩ o ũndũ ũmwe na kĩndũ gĩtwo sector ĩno ya yuthi ũrĩa maũndũ magĩkaire. Mũrũgũtũ Harrison nĩ wega mũno makĩria ndagĩkuona onawe ũrakĩnjĩra ũkĩrĩ mĩtambo-inĩ na wakĩnjĩra kwa ihinda rĩrĩ yuthi aingĩ maragĩturn into entrepreneurship nĩ ũndũ wa kĩndũ gĩtwo wagi wa mawĩra na wakiwa bũrũri ndwake provide kĩndũ gĩtwo long term solution no gakĩnjĩra ngĩthie mũndũ ũgwĩtwo Alex mũno makĩria. Harĩ kĩũrio haha hihi nĩ atĩa thirikari ĩbatiĩ gwĩka urgently ũkorwo gĩkambu kĩndũ gĩtwo kana ũkorwo ĩkĩnyihanyihia wagi wa mawĩra gũkũ bũrũri-inĩ?
The best thing the government can do urgently, the government should accept the fact that itself it can't actually create jobs. And if it does, it only creates to those people who are connected to those people in the government. So what do we do with these all other people? You see, most of our young people, men are a good number of them men are skills. The government should do one thing, they should make sure that the policies that are there for the lenders, they can actually favor them to lend people, these young people who doesn't even have a collateral. You know, this government, kura fegi ugetio statement yaku ukonekana we mweri wĩrĩa ko deposit mbesa, it is very long ago. So ndũngĩheo gina mbesa. So the government should actually enhance how we can provide money. Tondũ ndũngiuga atĩ the hustler fund or maybe such a program no iteithie ayuthi. That is very minimal. Magana matano kana ngiri thano kana ngiri athatori. They can't help anything. So the first thing the government should do, it is to enhance the programs that are there. Defatie ko
ugamera hako betu wedi mwe haha tugidi na mbere. Hello TV Kiambu TV. Hello, good morning Kiambu TV.
Good morning.
Daria nao nawe mwana ũrĩkũ?
Daria na njĩka kuma Kĩawaro gai.
Okay jenga Kĩawaro wako hana atĩa?
Ũtirĩ na uru no mbaa nene. Nĩ gũkorwo nĩte macani-inĩ.
Karibu sana Kiambu TV. Mũthenya ũmwe twarĩrie ũhoro wa yuthi na mawĩra ũndũ ũmwe na arutwo ũrona bũrũri wĩikaire atĩa kana wĩna kĩũrio gĩothe?
Ambe mũmbe mũgeithĩke na mũgeni hau.
Nĩtwageithĩka mũno.
Na nĩ aratarĩria maũndũ wega mũno. Mbere ya kĩũria nĩ ngwendaga ku make statement ya rĩrĩ. Nĩ concern ndĩnayo ya kũringana na ũrĩa nĩwanjũria ũrĩa bũrũri ũthiĩte. Na ngakorwo ndĩna concern nene mũno. Ta rĩu tũkĩrora ũhoro wĩgiĩ tondũ we nĩ student leader-rĩ, tũkarora ũhoro wĩgiĩ gĩthomo harĩa tũrorete. hau thutha mũciari nĩ ararĩ na ihinda igũrũ mũno guoka nĩ ũhoro nginya wĩgiĩ gũthomithia mwana na bari ya gĩthomo gĩkorwo ĩthiĩte igũrũ tũkĩrora kuma hĩndĩ ya Kibaki gũka ũguo na rĩu haha thutha maũndũ nĩ mathiĩte maritũhĩte nginya gĩthomo gĩgatuĩka gĩa kũritũha tondũ ũgakora nginya primary school nĩ ũrakora nginya nĩ yaritũhĩra mũndũ gwĩka atĩa gũkorwo nginya gĩthomithia mwana no nyende mũgeni witũ Alex atũtarĩrie atĩ kũringana nake ũguo mwĩthĩrĩ we arona atĩa future ya gĩthomo thĩinĩ wa bũrũri wa Kenya na kerĩ the funding model ĩno njerũ ya introduce rĩ kũringana nake tondũ andũ aingĩ nĩ marakaya ũhoro wa funding model na gũtirĩ ũgarũrũku wonekanĩte rĩ we ta mũtongoria nĩ makinya marĩkũ mareka nĩgetha gũtigĩrĩra atĩ nĩ magĩrĩire gũkinyĩra thirikari gũikĩria thirikari mateta marĩa marakinyĩrwo nĩ aciari na arutwo arĩa matarĩ na ũhoti na what is the way forward na new funding model.
Okay, asante sana mũndũ gwĩtwo Njenga na wĩithanie mũno ũcio wake waroga mũno thengi mũno makĩria.
Asante
wega mũno makĩria mũrori wa Kiambu TV twagĩthiĩ na mbere tũkĩinĩkagĩrĩria tabarĩra itũ rũcinĩ rwa ũmũthĩ twatigia ndagĩka ta 10 tu tũkĩina mũgeni watũ nake rũcinĩ rwa ũmũthĩ nĩ tũiye ndagĩka ta 30 ciake nĩguo tũrĩkĩrĩrie ciũria cianyu thimũ no nginya mbere na gũtũhũrĩra kũgerera namba itũ ya thimũ nĩ 0717818808 ng'enda-inĩ cio cia ũkinyanĩria Facebook nĩ Kiambu TV o ũndũ ũmwe na page itũ kana page yakwa Wambugu wa Gichuki ngwĩciria ciũria cia kana kĩũria kĩu mũndũ gwĩtwo Njengoria nĩ gũciarĩrĩirie ũhoro wĩgiĩ na kĩndũ gwĩtwo makinya ũndũ ũmwe na future ya gĩthomo ũndũ ũmwe na kĩndũ gwĩtwo funding model ũrĩa ũrona kana hihi kana nĩ mũikarĩte thĩ.
Maybe one thing I maybe would like kuongerera harĩ kĩũria kĩu Njenga na nĩ ma Njenga nĩ akaga nĩ kĩũria kĩu tũrorete twĩta bũrũri about the education. I'll actually be very specific. Tutigotira to beat around the bush. The thing is, if we continue with this new funding model, the situation will worsen. Aruto ciana cito citigothoma. Nona. Now the thing is, if we are not progressing, that we should revert to whatever that was there and wait for some other time to come and implement some other changes. Then the other thing, whatever we are doing, we as the young people, namenya thirikari no dread ukoro questioned by anybody. You have seen from the past activities that have been happening. Weta Mbeũ Njĩthĩ wageria kwaria, you are becoming a target. I tell you, Wambugu ona ndauma haha thaa ici kana whenever I go, I make sure that I'm actually trying to observe security. Rather just kuhuguraga, you are just cautious about your security. So the thing is, whatever we are doing as a student leaders or who have served as the student leaders, we are actually trying to engage our fellow student leaders who are in position right now. We are telling them we need to get back when it was time like students used to speak. During the time of Babu Owino in University of Nairobi, such things could not happen. Students used to riot and say that we won't accept this to happen. Na hedole tuonagate ya maudu makihanika. So the very simple or the best way we can riot. If the government doesn't want to listen, we have called them for the dialogues. The president people have sat with him, not one, not twice, or not thrice. So the thing is, let us now go the hard way. If the government requests we go the hard way, let us take it and make sure we uphold it to the latter until they implement whatever we want. Then we shall not resist, or maybe we shall not give in. So the thing is right now, kila modo, it is not your objective alone. It is not my objective. Mr. Wambugu. But we need our unison. We need our energy, all of us. We tag ourselves all along. If we say we are headed this direction, we go together. Biblia ine mwanake maririe makira na atiriri. We thie njira yo na nie thie njira eno. Etagwo Jefitha. Akirwa atianga thie njira yo na nie thie njira eno. Ungithi wone mawega ri unjire na ningi thie mawega ri ni ngakwira. The same thing that we should do. You should go with one agenda. We thie you try your effort, I try my efforts from the other side, and then we unite and call and we say this is what we want. So the thing is, we must do this thing and it is not late. We can manage it. So kirake hori, let us organize and let us call ourselves together. We see how we will work and go towards about this issue. Yes.
Tukirikireria ri ngoria kĩũria gĩkĩ nĩ mũramaka nĩ abductions irathi na mbere na makirinyi mujenzi.
Reke tuge gwiciria guoya nĩ ukinyaga handũ gathira because the worst can happen. It's just death. And you know death, everybody is a candidate to death. my employer ajiraga atiriri, you don't die Alex. If you die, it is a transformation of life. My life will just be transformed to some other person. So about death and about fear, actually we are not fearing. President and his government, this mongrel, this is not even a mongrel. The president had described the former presidents or maybe the former government as a mongrel because Raila had joined the government. We are actually describing this as a worst mongrel because whatever that is happening in our country is bad. So we don't have any fear. We as the young people, whatever that it takes, we shall be there. Na tutigwetigira ona magithina mbere ko abduct, ona mato abduct, even if they do anything that will even do anything to us, tutigwetikira. They have actually used a lot of machineries, state organs and done everything. Marathi na mbere go threaten. Gina ma hostage, imagine some political or maybe some national leaders, somebody who has served as an MP, a legislature. There is no even dignity with our government. So the thing is, guoya kwiragwo mugikuya ugire atiriri ati guoya uturagia mucie na ukia. So the thing is, tutikuguoyo hiyo, we will be there no matter what. Yes.
2027.
Yes.
Mwari wanyu mugutigirira tondu he maundu marenyu murenda.
Yes.
Macio wahutia.
Yes.
Mwari wanyu mugikate mutigire no igwika.
2027, you know they are saying that we Gen Zs, we don't have a candidate, we don't have a what. The thing is, and I want to make it very clear, as at now, without fear of contradiction, the thing is, our candidate is Ruto must go. William and his government must go because they have proven to us beyond reasonable doubt that they don't have any good interest for our people. And our voice as the youth is that we shall unite. We shall organize, we shall gather votes, we shall register. They will tally as we tally. In those bombers, we will have our national tallying center. That is our program. That is what we are considering to do. Every station, every polling station, neto akona mo Gen Z, na tiomwe, na Gen Z ta erika na atatu, and they'll be having 2 bodyguards. Matara, magatara, togatara, and we will be tallying by ourselves. Now, by the time the results rari kirari, neto akona tutagadete, ore awasi dagete. Yeah.
Okay, asante sana. Nwega muno makeria mundu gitwa Alex niwe tuna kero shinro mundu tugithina bena ukinikireria tafarira itu rushinirwa umuthi tukimurika kindu gwitwo ayuthi uteti undu mwana wagi wa mawira guku bururi-ini Mũtongoria wa yuthi kumagia kuria kundu gwitwo mwena wa Mwiki ndumire cianyu ndiraciona muno makeria mundu gwitwo mirikano wega muno makeria wakijira githie Alex na kera ona keno mu Gen Z araririe horo wa kindu gwitwo waragwe mutina candidate.
Yeah, marauga Gen Z matiri na candidate, matiri na mufango, ati matiri na ki. Our candidate is William must go.
Ajede no nebo sell. Eno yakuwa Ruto must go.
After it is selling as at now. Actually the government on our president, the reason it's why the government is so harsh, nekuna this thing is actually coming to become a reality. Yes.
Wamino hau nyabe joye dimo. Tukirikireria Kiambu TV, hello, good morning. Hello Kiambu TV, good morning. Aya, nega muno makiria wa hura wa keria ni gutu akwa twikiguana ni nayo kauga undu rira kiuga kana kiurio giothe ukiri nakio handu kuga tukirikireria
tukirikireria ni reke njugi atiriri Mbeũ Njĩthĩ twi handu haritu na menya muini witagwo wake aruta etagwo atia Makifi James ni thikagiriria nyimbo cia our legendaries aini rakiuga atiriri riwa rira kana ri ricinaga mundu mwithi hatikaine. We are in the transition, nduri wira ni urenda family, everything is just hell. Mundu mwithi ndari wira urathi ugakora mundu mwithi thaisi ni hoka ni makanga tuwira very shortly ni made maundu maritu and yet the society is actually judging us very harshly. I want to say this to our fellow youths, just live your life, just be true to yourself. Don't accept the pressure of the world overwhelm you. Actually kiria kihotiriri, regardless of how hard the situation is, we must never give up to ourselves and we must actually remain. Nyabe gene muno ni undu wa I have my colleague etagwo Mushiri wa Kawoni kuma kuria gatundu ya Rugongo ni mwanake tunyitanagirira muno nake thafarini ajiraga atiriri Muriithi, we will be there no matter what. It has been a journey that we have walked for long. It has been painful. So it is very hard that we can give up before we get to where we wanted. So Musiri hariari na hariara githina mbere na wikana maundu make and all other youths and all other generations, everybody who is there, be an activist, be a political commentator. Let us hold our government accountable and that will be the only way that we will be sure that we are going somewhere. The thing is, the government or maybe in back at our homes, we were being told that the youth are the future leaders, the leaders of tomorrow. But as at now, we have seen this tomorrow is kind of not getting there. So the thing is, let us actually call it, let us declare it that the youth should now rule today, as soon as yesterday. We should not actually wait. So tikwenda kuikara metha-ine, because even at the table, mararehe a quarter of an eighth of whatever that is there. We want to go in the kitchen. We want to be the decision makers. We want to be at the core, at the center of everything that is happening. So anybody who doesn't have the agenda of the youth, that person is null and void. We won't listen to them. Yes, sir.
Asante sana.
Yes.
Ni gatho makiria wagacoka kure mwana wa Mwiki kuwa ngeithi citu
nego mageithia
mageithie muno makiria hau ni twikirira gaturumo hikire kare ritu ria kindu gigwitwo Ũteti ndo mwana Ũtongoria wa yuthi na komunika kindu gitwo sector ya mathomo uria ikaire guku bururi-ini tumana mundu gwitwo Muriithi ni Mũtongoria wa yuthi kumugikora kundu gwitwo mwena wa Mwiki tukwamba